Hey there, welcome to Ben's Eco Adventure and welcome to a video concept that was shamelessly stolen from Eric Way at the News Coolum channel. I wanted to do a plug side chat style video to talk about EV charging and where we're at now as of August of 2025. Let's get into it. So I recently returned from a fairly extensive road trip from here in central Ohio to the Hudson Valley of New York, going through Pennsylvania on the way there and on the way back. So I had the opportunity to charge at a lot of different stations, and we covered, I think, at least 1,300 miles in the trip. So we got a lot of experience charging and everything. And what I'm excited to talk about today is this is the first time, the first trip we've had where everything went smoothly as far as charging goes. And one of the things I do when I approach a charging station is, even though I'm fairly savvy when it comes to charging in cars and EVs and all that, I always want to approach a station as if I were a noob and I didn't know what I was doing. So if there's something that's difficult to understand or requires extra steps, I take that into account, and sometimes I will ding a station if I think it wouldn't be usable by somebody without a lot of experience. I visited a whole bunch of different stations. It was myself and my family. We went to a Pilot Flying J EV Go. We went to a couple charge points at a Love's truck stop. Went to IONNA in Scranton, Pennsylvania. That was excellent. Went to a new station, which I will hopefully do a site review of, called Hondo Go, I believe. And went to a Ford dealership as well. So kind of a wide variety of charging. Every single station I was able to pull up. I didn't have to wait. And I believe all the stations I visited, almost everyone, if not every stall was in service. So that's really good to see too. So and I did also visit and Electrify America, at least briefly, to top up. Sometimes people will ask me if I would recommend an EV to them or to somebody who's not quite as technically savvy. And I've always kind of hesitated in the past because I know from my personal experience, it always seems like there's one charging stop that just everything goes sideways. And I think the other important thing here is, despite everything working perfectly, the other great thing we have now is every stop that I was at, I was never out of battery range from another charging stop. So if something were to have gone wrong, I had a backup plan. And again, that was something that a year or 2 years ago, at least here in this area of the United States, you were sometimes relying on one charger. You had a single point of failure. And if that didn't work, you would just have to hope there was a level 2 nearby. And I've actually had to do that once when one of the early Pilot Flying J stations claimed it was online, but then was actually blocked off when I got there. But fortunately now things have really improved, and we got full speeds and all the equipment was in good condition. So it's really nice to see. Some of you may know, especially if you are on the Nissan Ariya subreddit, that while the charging may be fine, my experience with this Ariya continues to be bumpy. So I'm not going to get into that necessarily in this video, but I will have more videos coming. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed and all that. Turn on the bell. I guess that's supposed to help as well. Obviously, my experience is just one sample out of a lot, but we have actually seen real data showing that my experience is not unique. I believe it's JD Power does continuous surveys. If you use PlugShare and you've gotten a pop-up after you've checked in somewhere that asks you more about your experience, that's actually a JD Power survey. And so they take that data and they squish it all together. And I believe every quarter or so, they put out a report about DC fast charging and level 2 charging in the US. The most recent report actually showed the lowest number of failed charging sessions in the history of the survey. It was still, I'd say, a little bit too high. It said something around 16% of sessions failed. But one of the problems is I don't know a little bit more detail about why that was. Did somebody go to a charge point and not have an account, or maybe not want to create an account? I certainly understand. I have app fatigue. If I'm going to a new station and it makes me download their app and create an account and do all that, I'm really not likely to use it. And I might, even if I'm feeling kind of spicy, leave a bad check-in, because in 2025, you just shouldn't be doing that. You need to be able to accept credit cards. And if you can't accept credit cards, if nothing else, some networks do have a way where you can scan a QR code, go in through your phone, and at least pay like one time. It's not the most ideal situation, but I'm kind of sort of willing to tolerate that. But I will not tolerate networks that want me to download their app. And it's one that it's not a universal national network like ChargePoint or EVgo, where you might use it again. I also should mention, I don't generally use Tesla supercharging. I do actually have the adapter, so if I need to, this is always in my back pocket, so to speak. But I have not used Tesla supercharging for any road trip. I've only tried it out just to make sure that it works. And if you do, the data is showing that Tesla, the supercharger network, does remain the most reliable network. Now, people have a lot of thoughts about Tesla and Elon Musk, and I certainly understand that. I can certainly agree with some of that. But if you are agnostic as to what charging network you go to, Tesla seems to be working very well, at least for all the cars that have gained access, which is a good chunk, but not all EVs as of August of 2025. So final thoughts on EV road tripping. I am excited to do more road trips now. I feel like I don't have to plan them as much. I will generally scope out where charging stations are before I go, and I definitely recommend you do that as well. I don't recommend just going in flying blind, not knowing where you're going to stop. But that being said, at least now I feel like for me, and hopefully for you, you can have a little bit more confidence that you're going to get where you need to go and not have hassles or delays. Now, I will also say, despite me having problems in the past, I've never encountered a situation that required a tow truck or required us to alter our plans dramatically due to failed charging. So charging is good, and the state of EV charging in 2025 is vastly improved over where it was at least a few years ago. Regular reminder, if you're not subscribed to Ben's Eco Adventure, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help out. And give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.